Welcome to our daily Forex market analysis, and this is for trading on August the 17th, 2021. Just a quick disclaimer here before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. As usual, we'll start off by taking a look at our calendar here. In terms of the news that's coming up on Tuesday, we have retail sales numbers here, so those will be important. Any kind of good retail sales will push the US dollar higher. And then we also have Fed Chair Powell speaking, and this is where, depending on how he words things, it can make a difference. So any sort of positive, or actually not positive comments, any sort of comments that talk about delaying tapering of the asset purchase program, or anything that talks about not raising rates, will be positive for the stock market and negative for the US dollar. And any comments in regards to concerns about the inflation and tightening of monetary policy, like that we need to do this, that would be positive for the US dollar. And actually, another thing that I forgot to mention is also we are seeing a lot of news on Afghanistan. So Taliban's taken over Afghanistan, and when we have, and US has been withdrawing forces from Afghanistan. Now, with this here, the concern is it becomes a humanitarian type of crisis. At this point, any sort of the more coverage there is on this, it could have a negative impact on the market. So we'll have to take a look at it. So when there is fear in the market, in that case, Japanese yen goes up. These safe haven currencies will go up. So we'll keep an eye on it and monitor the situation, see how it plays out. But that's what's going on in the market, something that we have to be aware of. And also tomorrow, on Friday, we have New Zealand. Here we have monetary policy statement. They're expected to raise rates, and if they do, that will be positive for New Zealand dollar. So let's take a look at, so we'll keep an eye on this. Any sort of comments about, so this is already tightening, raising rates is very bullish. So any kind of comments around that will be bullish. But if they don't raise rates, that will be concerning. So that will have a more of a negative impact than any sort of positive impact from raising rates. But New Zealand, Reserve Bank of New Zealand here will become one of the banks to raise it before the others. So we'll keep an eye there as well. All right, so let's move on to our charts here. We'll start off with euro dollar. So for the euro, on Friday, we saw this big move to the upside, and now price is into, it's pulled back a bit, but it's into support resistance level at 1.1765. If it holds here, we could see price go higher. So basically something like this. In that case, it could continue going up a fair bit. So where it is currently will make a difference. So right now I am neutral on this. We'll have to wait and see which direction. If it drops here below the support at 1.1765, then I'd be looking for a move all the way into the bottom. However, if it holds above 1.1765 here and goes, if it breaks out through the high, then we're looking for a move higher. So this one, a bit of a wait and see situation here. Bias is neutral, or my bias is neutral at this moment. So we'll monitor this, but I have whichever side it breaks, that's the direction we need to go in. So neutral bias for now, and we will keep an eye on it. Pound dollar, this one has rejected. This one's been sideways here over the last few days. The price has been, in this case, as we can see, price has been going sideways. It's been trading in a range. It rejected the high. So now we need to, I'm looking for a move towards the bottom of the range, 1.3800. So bias here is bearish within the range. So bearish bias for pound dollar, 1.3800 is the target here. Aussie dollar here, this one as well is trading in a range. In this case, looking for price to retest the bottom. But the problem here is it's been stuck. It's been back and forth for quite some time. So here, if we see that price, so I'm basically looking for price to come into the support 0.7315, and if it holds, looking for a move back into the range towards the top of the range. So this one is also neutral, even though we have a bearish candle close for the day. My bias on this is neutral. I'm expecting a range bound move between 0.7315 and 0.7375. Now, having said that, I believe there is monetary policy meeting minutes coming out for Australia today. So in this case, if there is bullishness in the comments, so basically they are positive and they talk about tightening the monetary policy or raising rates, since New Zealand is already talking about that. If Australia also starts talking about it, that will be positive for Australian dollars. So we'll have to keep that in mind. New Zealand dollar, this one is also trading in a range. With this, we are looking for interest rate hike. And should that happen, I would look for a move back towards the high 0.7060. But right now, this is stuck in a range here as well. So right now, for the time being, neutral bias, and we will wait to see which direction this wants to break in. But over the last week, it's just been stuck here. So neutral bias for New Zealand dollar as well. Dollar CAD here. As we can see, price did go up, but again, we are in a range here. This one's been sideways. Again, a lot of these crosses haven't done much, basically. We're just sideways here. Last time price was into the resistance, it turned around. So now we are at the same place. I'm looking for a retest of 1.2585. If it holds below, then we're back into the range here. So bias for dollar CAD as well is neutral, looking for a move between 1.2585 and then 1.2500. So neutral bias for dollar CAD as well. All right, let's take a look at silver here. Looking at our commodity, silver looking bullish. It is into resistance, hasn't closed into the positive territory yet. So watch out for that. But bullish bias, next target is 24.35. Gold here, moving forward here, this inefficient move getting filled. In this case, price is into resistance, so watch out for that. Bullish bias, again, with caution, next target is 1805. So bullish bias, again, watch out for the resistance at 1790. Oil here, oil struggling a bit. Price did come into support and then it bounced off of that. So we could see a move higher here. In this case, the first target would be 68.30 and then 69.30. So neutral bias here, looking for a move in the range between 69.30 and 65.50. Copper sliding lower here. Bearish bias, and in this case, looking for a move lower into 4.21. But before that, the next target here is 4.25 and then 4.21. Bitcoin, Bitcoin struggling a bit. It's trying to hold on here above the 45,500 mark. We do have a bearish pin bar, which means once it breaks this support, we're looking for a drop lower towards 43,700. So bearish bias right now, but if it does manage to hold above 46,000, let's say, then it will continue to go higher. Right now, it's struggling. So bias is neutral to slightly bearish here. Target is 43,700. S&P 500, after that initial drop here, we are seeing a bullish pin bar here. So still has that upward bias. Bearish bias here, 4,500 is the first target, so 4,500. So bullish bias for S&P 500. Nasdaq here, Nasdaq did reject the support here. It's still trading in the range, and it's right into the resistance, so do be careful, but it does look bullish. So first target is 15,170, and then above that we're looking at 15,300, so bullish bias for Nasdaq as well. Dow Jones, this one as well, after that initial drop, we're seeing price move higher here. 35,700 is the next target, so bullish bias for Dow Jones. And then DAX here, DAX is struggling a bit. Price did come into close to the support here, and it bounced off. So as long as it holds above 15,850, we are looking for a move higher, so something like that. Target is 16,000, so bullish bias here for DAX. And FTSE, big drop in FTSE, and then we are back here. So in this case, looking for a move higher towards a resistance at 7,200. So bullish bias for FTSE as well. Nikkei here, Nikkei came right into the support, big drop in Nikkei here, but big pin in the bottom as well, just like this one, which means it could go higher. So keep that in mind. Price could go back towards the top of the range here. So right now, neutral bias, still trading in a range. So this is neutral. All right, so that's it for today. You guys have a wonderful trading day, and I'll be back again tomorrow. Bye for now.